your followers ought to visually follow. Leaders' examples are exhibits of valuable embodiments, tangible ideas. Gives a leader a prominent position where the followers will be able to follow the examples of a leader. Your examples are filled with ideas that are followable, if there is a word like that. Some leaders have ideas, some leaders have so many things that people cannot resonate to. People cannot really align to. People cannot follow. People cannot exhibit those things. But your examples are exhibitions of tangible ideas. In other words, there are ideas that has grown from just a concept to a content, and that idea has become a tangible idea. They see the image of the idea. When they see the image of the idea, they also understand what the idea is saying to them, and they are able to follow it as such. Your examples should be examples that exhibit ideas that has become tangible. I'm taking my time for you to understand this. You see, you lead people idea through the tangibility of the idea. Okay, so your examples should be valuable, tangible ideas. Whatever example you lead, you should put it there, and people will look at it and say, yeah, this is it. This is valuable. This is wholesome. This is great. This is a good idea. I want to exhibit. What am I talking about? When you are able to give an example, which is a tangible idea, all you are doing for your followers is they are starting to follow you from the end of the vision to the beginning. What did I say? It simply means that they have seen the end of what you want them to do. It's very critical. So a leader leads by examples. Whilst you establish an example, it helps the followers to see and understand where you want to destined them, where you want their final destination to be. That's a smart way to lead. Now, I'll give you a very good example, and here's it. If I want my followers to build a car, I will therefore demonstrate a car so that they will have a pictorial vision of the car. All that means is they have been able to see the end of what you are asking them to do. Okay, it is critical that you lead your followers that way. So give them examples. When you go to school and you are in the classroom, the maths teacher will begin to explain the subject. After that, the maths teacher gives an example. What is the maths teacher trying to say to the student? He's saying to the student, this is the end of why we have started this. All right, so if you are able to do any question and achieve this, it simply means you have been able to get what I'm teaching you. So the way to lead is to lead with examples. It's very important. So the quote says, leaders' examples are exhibits of valuable embodiments. Embodiment is tangible ideas. Okay? So leaders' examples are exhibit of valuable, tangible ideas. That's your example. You can lead brilliantly with that. I hope you got that. Set examples that are valuable, tangible ideas manifested into that which we can touch.
Hello, welcome back. That is the video in focus. Great stuff over there, Mr. Kwekwenchi. Let me begin with you. Can one lead without showing an example of his or her leadership?
Thank you for this opportunity to join in this discussion. You realize that the topic is about exemplary execution.
Yes.
So as a leader, your main responsibility to your following is to be able to bring things out, your vision out in such a way that they can easily relate and align to that vision
Yeah.
and then bring it into being. Let me take this example. If I have a concept concerning the building of an apartment,
Okay.
and I'm not able to explain it to the architect for him to give out the impression to the builders, the mason, the thing becomes an idea that is not relevant to them. So at the end of the day, what I'm looking for is not brought out. I can't get what I'm looking for because I've not been able to explain, to make it tangible, to simply realistic for my following or the people I'm working with to understand what I want. But if you are a leader, you should be able to bring out your vision in such a way that your following can easily identify with it and then bring it into being. And then that is a mark of a good leader.
Now, some few key things Dr. Baini mentioned. Examples are filled with ideas, of course. An exhibition of tangible ideas. Who is that follower or that leader who would lead without giving examples? Can that be possible?
Not possible. Not possible, because it's definitely going to lead to failure. Because a leader is somebody in the picture who people are looking to follow, not to follow him as in a person, but his ideas, his vision, his mission he seeks to embark on. So if a leader cannot set examples which will be tangible for his followers or her followers to look up to and do same, like Dr. Baini mentioned about mathematics, a teacher will teach and then give examples and make sure we are able to solve that particular question. Now he tells you now, any question that comes under this topic, whether it's arithmetic or whatsoever it is, you should be able to achieve this, because I have been able to lead you to achieving, solving this particular question. So if you're a leader, you cannot complain if the idea you've brought, you cannot lead people to even achieve one. Let's say Media 7 is established, and then our leader tells us, in the next 6 months, let's try and have at least 20 tough channels on our platform.
Okay.
And then he goes home and he sleeps. No checkups. Are we working? Is everything going all right? But you see this leader sleep in the office day in, day out, and sees to it that even before that 6th month, we've achieved 20 or more channels on the platform. It gives the followers, people who are behind you, people who are helping push the vision, or the vision carriers also see to it that no, if our leader sets goals, if he sets ideas, he is able to achieve it. So that therefore it doesn't make us reluctant or lazy to work towards achieving those ideas. And they see it, they can hold it, they can attest that the fact that Media 7 is ranked to this level is because of that exemplary life or exemplary achievement the leader has brought up. So therefore they all work towards achieving such.
You see, okay. I want to add to what Kelvin has said, and then bring an example of one time in our country there was this president, this leader, who was phenomenal. He was charismatic. He had it all. He could move and people could follow and then make things happen. You realize that anytime he wanted something done, he was down there in the gutter first with the people, setting an example, telling them he will talk. You see, we have situations in our institutions and even in countries where leaders are always talking without executing. That is not exemplary execution.
Exactly.
As a leader, you can't just talk. It's not about words.
But I'm not sure you're ruling out the fact that you need to be able to communicate. You need to lead by also communicating properly.
Exactly, but you can communicate, and it can only be on paper. You understand? Dr. Baini mentioned something. It's a concept that has to turn into content for the people to be able to relate to and then the vision comes to pass, and it comes to bear on the life of the people and the community and the nation at large. So it's very, very important with the points given, with the things he's spoken about.
Add more to meat to it and take me to our various homes. Leadership at our various homes. You are a mom, you are a dad. What examples are you leading at home?
For example, let's take a mom who is supposed to take care of her kitchen. Okay, you realize that if she wants her children to come to the point where they can be looked up to, because you are leading for someone to follow and for someone else to follow, you know.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's a chain like that. He mentioned, Dr. Biden mentioned it in his delivery. So if you get up in the morning and your kitchen does not look clean, and you're sleeping and watching TV, that is not a good example. You definitely will have your kids doing same, and it will translate and transform into their lives in a way wherever they go, people will not be able to relate to.
So, Kel, when you tell your son or daughter to wake up at 5 a.m. to do some few house chores, okay, but you wake up at 7, are you an exemplary leader?
No, not at all. You know, probably the child will be afraid of you to tell you, now okra, or even you sleep us at that time, and you expect me. For the fact that you are a father, he wouldn't say that, but deep within, they are looking at you.
Yep.
They are looking at you as a leader. You mentioned communication along the line. Yes. Usually, communication wouldn't only deal with paper or talking, because I have worked personally with a leader who, when he says that today we have to achieve this, he can sleep in the office, he will lie down on his carpet and make sure we achieve that. It's a simple communication to you, the follower. Why are you in a haste to go home as at 5 p.m. when we haven't achieved this? Because the CEO himself is sitting down, leaving all his luxury aside to make sure this is achieved. So you, that leader, sometimes it doesn't have to do with commanding, issuing memos at the workplace, but when the people see you, indirectly, it tells their conscience, hey, look at what he is doing. And you are saying, no, I'm going home, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. No. So when communication comes in, sometimes the examples Dr. Baini is elaborating or talking about doesn't necessarily mean you should talk, hey, do this, do that. But sometimes your lifestyle is what they look up to, and it communicates and they follow suit.
We're going for a break there. When we are back, we'll still talk more and discuss more of our video in focus. Kindly stay with us right here on Leadership Embassy Extra.
The faculties of Dr. Open University are offering the following programs in Professional Diploma, Advanced Diploma, Accelerated Degree, and Undergraduate programs. Programs on offer: Sports Media Practice, TV and Radio Presenting, Journalism and Communication Studies, Digital Music Making, PA System and Sound Engineering, Musical Instrument and Vocal Studies, Gaming Development, and IT Software and Hardware. Enroll now for free laptop or tablets. For more information, contact 0202 500 500, 0202 500 500. Dr. Open University, perfecting tomorrow's media today.
In life, you need to be led. A leader must be led with a lead. You cannot move forward unless you calculate the steps you took backwards. Speak forward so you remain forward. You need insight from hindsight to get to your foresight. Direction is critical, important for your success. Be directed.
Okay, so welcome back and thanks for staying with us. This is Leadership Extra, and we are dealing with Dr. Baine's topic, exemplary executions. There was a reference that Dr. Baine made in one of his quotes. He says, every leader's vision should be tangible and valuable enough for the people to relate to it. What do you make out of that?
Value is key. All right. Whatever example you set up, you set up to achieve. If there's no value, people don't. There will be a question: what did we get out of this? Or in the long run, what are we making out of what's being achieved?
Right.
So when there's value, and we can see it, we can feel it. Like I mentioned earlier, when our leader says, let's achieve this by 6 months, and we are able to do it, and we see how much what we accumulated as an organization, there's value. So we know, yes, if we work towards this, we could do better.
Right.
So the tangibility and the value counts when leading exemplary.
Okay, so Kofi, I'll come back to you. Right. There's a second video, and I want us to watch it, and then we'll pick it up. From there, I'll
That's okay.
Right.
A leader's exemplary life is the exam for the people, or is the exam for the followers. A leader's exemplary life is the exam for his or her followers. Okay, as you lead with examples, as you lead your followers, always by giving them analogies, giving them examples, showing them examples, it is a lifestyle that a leader should adopt. Okay, once you adapt that lifestyle, what you're doing for your followers is basically giving them an exam to write, if you please, an exam to complete. Because they then look at you and then they will test themselves if I have been able to also live an example. It's very important. Those who follow you should be able to leave examples with their following, because it's a reaction chain. It follows and it follows and it follows. You will lead, people will follow you. Your followers will lead, they will have followers. The followers behind your followers will also lead, and they will have followers. So it follows and it follows and it follows. Now people can really understand where you are taking them to, what you want them to do, if they are able to test themselves confidently with what they see always. Can I also do this? This is what is set in front of me. Let me try and do it. So they attempt that exam. They attempt every question in that exam. All right? It is important to understand that when we lead with examples, we achieve maximum results. Very important. You cannot lead just with words. You cannot lead just talking. You cannot lead just not being mindful of demonstrating how you want them to think, how you want them to execute things, how you want them to put things together. Leaders must lead with examples.
Okay, so thanks for staying with us this Wednesday afternoon, 24th of June 2020. We are dealing with Leadership Extra, and the topic is Exemplary Executions, Dr. Baine's season of teaching on leadership. Kofi, on this video, Dr. Baine quotes that a leader's exemplary life is an exam for his or her followers. A leader's exemplary life is an exam for his followers. What do you say about that?
Well, I'll come to do with that briefly, but let me add a little bit to what Kelvin made mention in the earlier quote you gave to him about value and tangibility. Right. Okay, in everything we do as leaders, okay, the exhibition of tangible ideas should be instilled in our followers.
Well, I want you to say that again.
Exhibition of tangible ideas must be well taught out to our followers.
These are words that Dr.
Absolutely, yes, these are quotes from him. And the key thing is that you can't wake up one morning and tell yourself, I'm a leader and I have you as my follower, and in the next 1 year we are going to devise ways to fly up and go and break the sun.
It's not tangible.
It's not tangible.
Right.
Absolutely. So there should be reasons and reasoning behind every idea of a leader, of which it must be well spoken to the followers.
Okay.
Now to the
yes, that a leader's exemplary life is an exam, is a test for his followers.
That's very true. 100% true. Because every day we are writing exams.
Right.
We are making selections, whether to paste or not to paste, whether to shower or not to shower. So we are making ideas, we are making selections, we are writing exams, we are picking correct, we are getting errors. So the number of errors you would get would fulfill or unfulfill your leadership style, or for you to execute your goals and your ambitions.
Okay.
So as a leader, you must be thoughtful as to how you play your cards. The way you even drive should teach your follower how to drive.
Right.
The way you talk, the way you throw your hands around, the way you eating in public as a leader. Are you teaching your people to eat also in public? You do not have to do that. So I think it's 100% true that whatever we do, there is an exams to it.
Right.
Questions set by ourselves, and our followers are watching, and they are marking us according to how we are leading our lives.
Wonderful. I would come to Kelvin, but I want both of you to mention and then dilate on this thing. It's something that struck my core. I want to really understand it. Does it necessarily mean that a leader does not make mistakes?
Well, maybe I can begin. I'm not sure it means a leader is infallible.
It's not in what Dr. Baini, but it has brought this to the core. The fact that you are a leader, leading by examples, and your people should, learn from that. Would it mean that leaders don't make mistakes? I want you to.
Okay. A good leader is a student.
Good.
Working with a leader like Dr. Baini, I know, is always ahead of his followers, trying to learn. Even if you listen to him on his last episode, this was his statement: I'm taking a break. I am going to learn, gather more information, more knowledge, so that I can come and impact. This is a leader.
Right.
A leader who is up there doesn't see himself there. He puts himself in the student position. That is, he's always studying. He's always researching, trying to find out something new. In the sense that, does he make a mistake? Yes, he does.
Right.
He will at times. But the way he will carry himself and show forth as a leader, even in that state of making a mistake, will let you know that, yes, this is a leader. We set up to make this deal happen. Something came up. It didn't go well.
Exactly.
How do I handle the situation? Do I let people go and then say things? Even when David was struck down and everything, the Bible said David encouraged himself.
Right.
So when a good leader falls even in the state of making mistake, how he carries himself, how he deals with that challenge.
How he deals with the challenge.
Champions him and make him a leader.
Okay.
If I can
Let's go.
Absolutely. Like I was indicating earlier on, that it doesn't mean he's infallible. We are human beings and we are prone to making errors. But the level of error you would make also questions your leadership.
Exactly.
And the way you will handle the error.
Absolutely.
And come out of it.
It is said that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And when certain failure confronts you, the response, it is also said that 90% of how we respond to our downfall is the problem. Because when something confronts you and you fall down, how you would respond to it takes 90%. Okay, if you fail to respond to it appropriately,
Right.
meaning you have given yourself 90% flat fall,
Right.
and that's very bad. So we are prone to making mistakes, but how we respond to it? On the other hand, if a leader who plans very well, the margin for that leader to make errors is very minute. The probability is very less, and that's where some exemplary execution leaders should be geared toward.
I took this question from one of Dr. Baine's teachings. I think it was on acumen, or
Okay.
I'm not too sure whether it was leadership MSc or acumen,
Okay.
where he mentioned that failures are experiences, you know, where you gather intelligence for the next leap. The failures are, some are forgotten the right word, but they are there to help you get into your fortunes.
Okay.
So I believe it is accepted that leaders make mistakes, but how you go about the mistake.
Sometimes they don't want to even coin the name failure to it. They want us to say discoveries. Okay.
Right.
As you fall, you are discovering new opportunities and new ways of doing things.
Exactly.
So those failures, for me, I would love to say, Doctor has mentioned several times that we should be seeing those opportunities or those failures as opportunities and as discoveries, so we can make a positive out of those falls,
Right.
and move on.
Okay. The other aspect of this, the other side, is how people look at leadership when they make mistakes. You understand that at a certain point in time, you realize that somebody everybody is looking up to makes a mistake because he's leading by example, and then everybody wants to
Draw back.
Yes.
Yeah.
How should we react in the face of a leader, a good leader, okay, an exemplary leader, where he falters? Because I know that good leaders always, you know, the good book says that my enemy don't rejoice. If I fall 7 times, I'll rise. So there's the opportunity of failure, even in the leadership's example, in his executions. But like you mentioned, it is how you gather yourself. It is how you wrap up yourself. It's how you stand on your feet to face the challenges and then surmount them. I believe that is key.
If you're a leader and you happen to fall, for me, what it takes beyond prayer and going to your maker to ask for pardon, you should be courageous enough to say sorry to your followers and rekindle their love and push them up.
Okay.
You know,
I want to come to you. Yes, exemplary leaders.
Yes.
Leave marks that are exams for their followers.
Yes.
I want you to take it up.
All right. Taking it up from Kofi, then I come to this. You know, yesterday's failures are tomorrow's fortunes.
Exactly.
And we're dealing with exemplary execution.
And that is another quote from Dr. Cook.
Exactly. Taking the word examples. If I want to break this word into two, I'll take EX, that's X, and amples. X, anytime we mention the word X, we're talking about the past.
Right.
All right. So it's about taking past incidents, lessons, thoughts, and making ample meanings of them into the future.
Exactly.
So examples are key. All right. One thing that builds every human is your exes. I always say, not talking about your ex-boyfriend, your ex-girlfriend. I'm talking about examples and experiences.
But even in that, we still have a lot to learn from that. Let's say if you have exes, you still have a lot to learn from that.
Exactly. And the exemplary life of a leader being an example to his followers is very simple. A simple thought Doc has put out there. If you're a leader, however you put yourself, like I mentioned earlier, Dr. Baini is a leader I know. If he sets a goal that today we have to lay a mast 80 meters foot tall, he would make sure it is done.
Exactly.
And if it's not done, he wouldn't go home. So you, that follower, in your conscience, when it's 5 p.m. and your boss is on the field making sure that mast is being laid, it tells you, stay, make sure it is done. Okay, when you come to the office, one of my names at the office is Little Baini.
Yes.
It is for a reason. It is an example the leader has set and a lifestyle he lives. and now putting myself in that instance and following his footsteps. When we say, Kelvin, do this, make sure it's achieved, it is done. Be on the people. Even when they are tired, they'll say, oh, Kelvin, oh, That's how come the name Lil Biney, Lil B started coming out. Because however he would do it if he was present, that is the same pressure, effort, energy I would make sure I put in his absence and make sure it is done. So unconsciously, not that he has said it on paper, that if you work here, make sure you live this way, make sure you act this way, make sure you move in this direction. But because of that exemplary life he is put out there and is living and is showing, you see, it's an example, so it should be illustrated. It should be demonstrated for people to see. So as they are seeing, they can now follow well and do same.
Well, if I can put
something to
yes, quickly. You see, if you're that leader who sets targets for your followers, like Kelvin rightly mentioned, Dr. Biney will set a target and ensure that it is achieved. Okay, but if you're that leader who sets that target that we are going to build this number of masts up into the sky, but when we get to the halfway, you see your followers are tired, and you have compassion on them and say, well guys, I see you are tired, let's make it tomorrow. They are going to take it for granted.
Is it in all instances that people will want to take it for granted, or it's showing that it's exemplary leadership where the leader is showing?
You should be known for the fact that once you have said we are building to here, whatever it is, it's like taking your small boy to the farm, carrying him or her, of course, him with firewood. And
we'll come back.
All right.
My producer says we should go on a break, and I believe you're learning so much from this discussion. You're getting your pens and papers and your notepads and your phones and taking in information about leadership. You are a leader wherever you are. And you expect people to listen to you, you expect people to follow you. One day, you have to leave a certain mark, and it should be known that you left a legacy worth emulating. We'll be back. Don't go away.
In life, you need to be led. A leader must be led with a lead. You cannot move forward unless you calculate the steps you took backwards. Speak forward so you remain forward. You need insight from hindsight to get to your foresight. Direction is critical, important for your success. Be directed.
You're welcome back. This is Leadership Embassy Extra, where we bring you diverse perspectives to the season 1 and its various episodes dealt with by Dr. Biney. Today we are dealing on the topic Leaders Execution, taking into consideration exemplary executions. With me is Mr. Kofi Asante, Mr. Kweku Entry, and myself, Kelvin Malo. We've watched 2 videos from Dr. Biney in one of his episodes. We've taken nuggets from them. We're about to wrap up. We're about to go. So I'll start with Mr. Asante. Please, your final words before we go.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And like I was indicating to a viewer that when you take your son to the farm and you tell your son, hey boy, carry this number of firewoods. When we get to the top of the mountain, we are going to rest before we get home. And you get to the top of the mountain and you do not rest, your son is going to have a problem with you. But when you make it direct and say, come on, take these firewoods, we are going home, we are not resting on the road, Kelvin, he is going to assimilate this in the mind and say, well, daddy says we are going home, my mind is at it. So know how to communicate to your followers and lead with examples. Okay, you do not say we are going home and when we get halfway you rest. Your follower won't take you serious. That's how I went there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kofi Asante. Mr. Kwekwenchi.
Learned so much from Dr. Baine, and we're still doing. And there's one thing I've learned, that as a leader, you should be able to demonstrate intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, socially, financially, economically, how you want people following you, or how you want your immediate community to rise up to understand these attributes that you have, and for them to pick it up and then live with it, emulate it for the future. That's something I've learned.
Thank you very much. It was awesome being discussants on the Leadership Embassy Extra with Kofi Asante, Kweku Entry, and myself, Kelvin Malo. Exemplary life of a leader is key. Unless pride, every follower looks up to his or her leader. Unless pride of a follower, every follower looks up to a leader. So if you are a leader over there, whether a religious leader, a corporate leader, even a leader at home, always know that people are looking up to you. Because in the second video we watched, we heard Doctor say, now as a leader, your follower is watching you to take steps from you. And that follower also has a follower. And that follower has a follower. And it keeps on like that.
It's a chain process.
So you have to be up to it. And make sure you lead exemplary lives. Remember, that are tangible and valuable. So that your people will look up to you and do the same. We are all born ordinary. But the extra we add to our ordinary makes us extraordinary. This is Leadership Embassy Extra. Thanks for being with us. See you next time.
The faculties of Doxa Open University are offering the following programs in Professional Diploma, Advanced Diploma, Accelerated Degree, and Undergraduate programs. Programs on offer: Sports Media Practice, TV and Radio Presenting, Journalism and Communication Studies, Digital Music Making, PA System and Sound Engineering, Musical Instrument and Vocal Studies, Gaming Development, and IT Software and Hardware. Enroll now for free laptop or tablets. For more information, contact 0202 500 500, 0202 500 500. Doxa Open University, perfecting tomorrow's media today.
Thank you for watching Leadership Embassy Extra. Do not miss the next episode of Leadership Embassy Extra on the 1st of July 2020. It will be creative, educative, and exciting. Open Room Intelligence. Open Room Intelligence is designed for those who need assistance in intellectual knowledge to advance. To be part of these two programs, register as a member of Leadership Embassy by calling 0594 808 642 for your membership code. LE Fanbase. To be a member of the Leadership Embassy Fanbase, send Add Me with your name and number to 0594 808 642. LE Content. For Leadership Embassy videos, audio, and data content, call 0594 808 642. LE Social. Follow Leadership Embassy on social media at leadershipembassy.org. Kindly share the content. We'll see you next time.
Come on.